Welcome to Power Up by GOGI Forgive meeting. I'm Coach Catherine. I'm a Train the Trainer specialist, and I'll be your coordinator today. Coach Johnny Howe and I will be leading this meeting, and Coach Johnny is the facilitator of this Power Up series that will be 15 meetings long. We are in our 7th meeting, and we are grateful that you are joining us. GOGI's intention is to support the growth of Power Up community meetings everywhere and anywhere they are desired. Joining us are GOGI coaches, GREPs, students of GOGI who have made GOGI a priority and you a priority so that you can experience GOGI along with us. Our goal is that you will actively follow along with us, have fun, and feel engaged in the material that will be presented today. Whether you are new to GOGI or a prior GOGI student, you will learn something new to take with you and apply in your everyday life. In our first team building meeting, this group decided to call themselves Power Up First, and that's fitting because we are the first. We are coming to you remotely from different cities, states, and you will notice us calling each other, raising our hands at time to keep things going. It's now my pleasure to call on our special guest, Coach Taylor. And what do you have for us today, Coach Taylor?
Well, Power Up manual, and in it has the forgive. Are we on forgive?
Yes.
Because it is the first week of June. So you would hold this meeting forgive on first week of March, first week of June, and first week of September, and first week of December. But if you're watching this and it is not those dates, that's cool too. We just want you to participate anyway. So the rest of GOGI is working on these weeks. So we're happy you're here. Bonnie?
Coach, really quick before you pass it on, could you give a little history of forgive? Because I know for some people it could be the most difficult tool.
Well, it is, because it's often understood, because people think of forgive as forgiveness. And as we were developing this tool, I was sitting with the women in the Los Angeles County Jail way back when, at the beginning of this century. They said, well, I try to forgive, but oftentimes they would put themselves in harm's way. They wanted to forgive their boyfriend, but their boyfriend kept pulling out the crack pipe. And so it was difficult for them to forgive the boyfriend when they were proposing that they be in danger. So at that point, the tool forgive became, for me to give, I need safety from harm. And in truth, if we don't have safety from harm, it's really not wise to forgive someone. We have to be safe from harm for the forgiveness process to actually work. Otherwise, we're just being vulnerable. So while the word forgive is similar to the word forgiveness, they're two very different. As a GOGI tool, forgive is meant to allow us to give back to community, but only when we are safe from harm. So this is the GOGI safety tool. It's less about forgiveness than it is about safety.
Thank you so much, Coach. That was a great description and help us understand the tool more. I knew when I was incarcerated, this was one of the ones that would cause the most confusion. And until we had you come in and, settle it, it was understood. So thank you for that. At this time, before the meetings, we want to take care of the things that we need to take care of, identify who's going to be reading. And also too, when you're in, for the GOGI students, we want to make sure that you're in your GOGI circles, no more than 12 to 15 people, including the facilitator. So at this time, we're going to pass it to Coach Ivanica to start the meeting.
Good morning, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick little reading. The GOGI tools are studied worldwide according to the GOGI calendar of study. We unite with others according to the schedule so no one will feel they are alone in their effort to make positive decisions. We believe in everyone's ability to benefit from this positive community of individuals united on the GOGI calendar of study. Therefore, we call this the Power Up Forgive meeting to order, and we join in the tools studied by the students of GOGI everywhere. I'm going to do a quick review of the tools. Boss of my brain, belly breathing, 5-second light switch, positive thoughts, positive words, positive actions, claim responsibility, let go, forgive, what if, reality check, and ultimate freedom. And then Power Up purpose. The objective of Power Up community meetings is to reinforce the use of GOGI tools and support positive community experiences. We accomplished our objective through the study of the GOGI tools shared in peer mentor circles according to the GOGI calendar of study.
Perfect. Thank you, Coach. So at this time, we're going to do a quick check-in. This time, we're going to do from 1 to 10. 10 being I'm amazing, I'm glad I'm here, I want an extra hour of GOGI. 1 is I wish I was in bed, still sleeping with my 3 cats and my dog. So for me, I'm a 9. I love these meetings. I really look forward to them. I think it's a great way to start the day. So for me, I'm a 9. I'm going to give it to James Nelson.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. As for me, I would check in today as probably about a 5 because I'm tired. I'm tired, and but then though I like to look at the glass half full and half empty, so that leaves me room to grow, right? And so that's how I check in today. Thank you. And I would pass it to. I can't see my screen, Johnny. Can you pass it for me?
Sure, we'll go to Coach Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you both. I'm going to say I'm about a 7. I'm normally really high on the scale, but I have some deep concerns about family that I can't be near. But at the same time, I am looking forward to seeing my mom today. So I have some that I'm a little worried about and one that I don't have to be worried about. So I'm a 7 and I'm really grateful to be here as well. I'm going to pass it on to, let's see who's, Jonathan, are you handy? No. How about Mariano?
So today I would say that I am a 9. I choose to be a 9, and I also choose to leave some room for improvement. It's a beautiful day, and I feel awesome. And I would like to pass it on to Coach Carlson.
Thank you, Mariano. Today I am an 8. Leaving room for growth. I like that perspective that everyone's provided, and I have a lot to look forward to today and in the coming week. So I'm an 8. I will pass it on to Gilbert.
Hello, glad to be here with you guys with the meeting. I want to say a 9 right now. About to go on a hike with my buddies, and you know, been doing it for the last couple of weeks. It's good.
Okay, I'd say I'm about a 6, just because I'm a little tired, and the world's crazy. It's a crazy place to live in right now, and so I'm gonna say I'm a 6 because that's as good as I think I can be. I'm going to pass it on to Roberto.
Good morning. I'm about a 7 today. Got a lot of stuff going on today around a lot more people than I would like to be. Today, doing some work. The reason why I'm a 7 is because we opened up this new transitional home out in Wilmington, and you know, the neighbors aren't quite happy with us being here. Although I'm hopeful that we can win them over. We're at the beginning of opening this new transitional home for long-term offenders who are going to be paroling like us, who are ready to contribute and accept the privilege of being citizens again. And there is some tension in the neighborhood with us being here. So there's some concern, and that keeps me at a 7 right now. And but I'm optimistic. You know, I'm keeping it positive, and I'm sharing some understanding with the community so that we can move forward together. So I'm at a 7.
This is Coach Ronnie. Can you hear me?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing? I'm glad to be here. I don't think y'all can see me though. I'm having trouble getting the camera to work. I'm not very good with the technology stuff yet. I would say this morning I'm probably a 7 or 8. One, I'm in Central Texas and it's already like 87 degrees. And I'm supposed to be on a side job, but I know I need GOGI for my internal freedom more than anything. So I'm glad to be here, but also got work to do. And I can't see nobody's names on here, so if somebody would pass it on for me.
Perfect. Thank you. Even though we have some 7s, hopefully by the end of this meeting, we'll get some higher numbers. At least that's what we're shooting for. What I want to invite is 1 or 2 people to kind of share their experience with the tool Forgive. So for me, I work as an alcohol and drug counselor, and I have the opportunity and the privilege of facilitating PowerUp meetings at my job, and I get paid for it. It's amazing. So what happens is I get to share this tool, and for them to share, like I always share personal experience with the tool. And being a recovering addict, working in a addiction facility, we have something called a food pantry. And for me to get away from the harm of addiction, so one thing that I like to do is I try to find people who need food, extra beans and rice and whatever I can give, whatever they may have, cereal and spaghetti and cans of soup and all kinds of stuff. And I was thinking, like, if I wasn't out of my addiction, if I wasn't safe from harm from my addiction, I'd be getting that food and selling it for drugs while I'm working as an alcohol and drug counselor, and probably selling drugs in the process. So understanding the power of addiction and understanding that I need to be away from that harm, or I'm going to continue the cycle of hurting people and being selfish and stuff like that. So for me, being away from the harm is so important when it comes to this tool. So can we get one person to share their experience with this tool?
This is Coach Ronnie. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Coach.
Hey, how you doing? Well, myself, like you said before, I had a hard time understanding Forgive when I first started doing GOGI. But once I got the concept of it, it's a great tool for me. I came right back home, and I live basically in the same place I left. So there's a lot of my old running buddies. I mean, all the drug addicts I used to run with live like 1,000 feet from me. But I know that the life I've chose now and the just my attitude and all that is giving back in a positive way. And I went to the corner store, and there was one of the guys there and sitting in his truck, and I just walked right past him. I didn't say hi, hey, how you doing? And we didn't exchange nothing, because I know I have to distance myself from them people, no matter how so-called good of friends they were back when. I did over 16 years and wasn't none of them there for me. But I know that all it takes is one time hanging out. Like, oh, I can go see him one time. That one time hanging out gets you right back in your addiction. First and foremost, I'm a drug addict. I got to realize that every day. And I know that even though they live so close, it's like them being 1,000 miles away from me, because I'm nowhere near them, because I choose, to put myself in a better place and separate myself from them. And it's been a long process, but I got family members worry about me. But inside myself, I know there's no worry, because I know where I'm at. And I owe that to GOGI and Coach Taylor and Coach Carlson, because they've been there with me since the beginning. That's what I have for today.
Thanks, Coach Ronnie. And I think
You're welcome.
Important information is that when you do get out here, there's going to be people who are going to try to contact all our GOGI students. There's going to be people going to try to call you and get your number and contact you. And that's one thing why I really appreciate Gilbert and Danny and Robert and James as well. It's like we're all together, formerly incarcerated, and to see them hiking, and sometimes we'll go together and to do positive things, and see Robert, almost with this struggle of doing the right thing, but staying with it and staying committed to it. And that's what it's about. It's so easy, I think, like Coach Ronnie said, to go back to the old neighborhood because we've known it. And, there's a sense of almost like maybe they're family, but like you said, they weren't there, and they don't care like our family really have. So thank you for that. At this time, we're going to pass it to Coach Carlson to do a quick review.
So good to hear your voice, Coach Ronnie. I'm so glad you're here with us at this Forgive PowerUp meeting. So a quick review of the tool. Forgive is a tool of moving forward. And as Coach Taylor and many of us have discussed, this is not a tool about forgiveness, but it can lead to forgiveness if you apply the tool Forgive. For me to give, I need distance from harm. Those are the key words for the tool forgive. For me to give, I unhook from the past and find my internal freedom. And I'm going to read a bit from the actual PowerUp book here. It says, forgive is our safety tool. Forgive is your permission to move forward and put a stop to recurring pain in a real way. Forgive is your ticket away from the harm, even if you were the one who caused the harm. Here's how to use the GOGI tool forgive. What is the harm? What hurts the most? Where in my life do I hold resentments? Where am I disappointed, enraged, or angered? Get distance. Am I sufficient distance from that potential harm? Is there a way for me to be hurt this way again? If so, I will get away. For the give. For me to give, I unhook from the past and get to safety. With my new distance from the pain, I can choose to do something nice for someone else. I choose to be of service. And I guess I'll share really briefly, just not necessarily on experience with the tool, but I think that I used to be around a lot of people in my past that were people I needed to get away from in order to make the right decisions for myself and be able to forgive certain decisions that I'd made or certain things that had happened to me. And I found what was really, really cool when this tool finally clicked for me was that I was at a place in my life where I saw other people going through that. And once they were willing to unhook from those people, I was able to give them this tool and watch them apply it to their life and become sober and become good family. And it's just, this is one of my favorite tools, but like Johnny said at the beginning, one of the most difficult to get the hang of. But once you do, it's incredibly helpful and effective. So that is my review of the tool. Thank you, Coach Johnny.
Awesome job. So at this time, we're going to do a group activity. So we ask for a couple volunteers. So one of the activities is we want someone to state how they would like to give back to the community. What is one way, once you unhook from the harm, what is something you want to do to give back to your community?
Coach Ronnie here.
Oh, Ronnie?
Yes, sir. I've talked to my parole officer about once I get a little more established out here and prove myself. I've only been out of prison since January, but I'm gonna, through her, get with the either Bell County Sheriff's Department or the Temple Police Department and try to work it out to where I can get into the juvenile detention and start facilitating GOGI groups there.
Awesome.
So that's one of the things that I do. And this girl I know from the halfway house that I knew back in the day, her grandmother lives by me, so I go over and do her yard for her and all that stuff because, you know, it's really hot here in Central Texas. So she was a little older, so I told her, I said, well, whenever you need your yard done, you just call me. I got you. I don't want you to pay me or nothing. I mean, I'm here to help.
Great way to serve. Also, too, I believe Coach shares the sentiment that when you do get started, make sure you let us know so we can send you books and material and whatever you need, however we can support you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You had your hand up?
Yeah. I like to share the ways that I'm giving back, and I like what Coach Ronnie just said, though, because that's what it's about. You know, it reminds me of a lot of us when we was in life cycle, right? And my forgive was now I came back out like you know, still I go to the neighborhood. You know, I go to the neighborhood and look out for one of my elders that raised my parents. And my mother is no longer here, but she raised us as well. And she's 90-some years old, you know, and she liked doing crossword books. Mm-hmm. And so I make sure she have her crossword books and stuff like that. But I like to go back and try to reach some of those youngsters in the neighborhood because those are the ones that we need to try to reach, you know. And I also bring them into the work that I do because I'm a community activist, right? So I bring them into the work and I'll show them like how they can get involved in their own communities where they can make decisions, be part of decision making in their communities and help us in our communities from being like over policed or marginalized, right? And help keep us out of prisons and cages. So that's how I utilized the tool Forgive by just doing the work that we was doing on the inside as far as changing the narrative even in there, you know. And it was said amongst a lot of us that the change that we seen in there, and that change had an impact on us all now being home, right? We said then that it was going to take us to come home and change the narratives right here from what we were seeing and hearing about. And I believe in that, you know, and that's why I say that I know that what my position is in life now, and that's to be a servant, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what Coach shared with all of us when she first walked into the gym. Is she said, if you want to be free, be of service to your community. And in order for us to be service to our community, we have to be free from the harm. We can't be using drugs and involved in violence and gangs and all that other stuff, and still try to give back. You know, tell the youngster, hey, don't be in gangs, but I'm doing it myself. It doesn't make much sense. And lead by example, like by the way that we live our life and the way we choose to live every day, is also a way to make amends to the people we've harmed in the past. At this time, we're going to state our weekly intention. So our intention of the week. So for myself, my intention of the week is I want to work on getting a weight set to start working out. The gyms are a little crazy. I've had the excuse of like, because of this COVID, I don't have to go work out. Sorry about that. Chill out, you don't knock it out. So that's my intention, is get a weight set and start working out, stay healthy. I got diabetes, so I have to start taking care of that.
My intention for the week is, although I'm GOGI for life and I live the GOGI way, I need to be more in touch with GOGI this week. I think I allowed myself over the past week or so to really be overwhelmed by the news and by what's going on in the world. And I think it's important to be informed and to be active in the community, like James says. I also think it's important to remember that we control, we're boss of our brains, and we control our thoughts and our words and our actions, and to be the best version of ourselves in our communities in the way that we know how and the way that we can. So to be of service. And so my intention is really just to focus on what GOGI for life and living the GOGI way means. That's my intention for the week. I will pass to Mariano.
So my intention would be to tap into this creative side that doesn't exist in me, so that I can feel a little more productive. I'm feeling very not that since my release. So that's what I will be digging into. And I will pass it to James Nelson.
All right, thank you, bro. My intentions is like for this week would be just to continue, like, first and foremost, make sure that I take care of self, right? And get my rest and self-care, right? Because if we don't take care of ourselves and get too swamped in anything, we'll get consumed as well. So I think it's very important, like, to take time out, self-care, right? And then re-tap in. But yesterday we had a nice memorial at the Hall of Justice downtown, and it was a rose from a concrete ceremony that we had for victims that's been lost to state violence, and for all the brothers and sisters that we know that we left inside. And it was a nice, peaceful demonstration, and it was like really emotional. So I'm just gonna continue, like, to be there for the community and to be there to help change come that we want to see. So I'm just looking to tap in even more to that, because I haven't been too active since this stay-at-home thing's been in place, but now we're starting to get more active. So that's what I look forward to this week. Thank you. And I would pass it to, well, I can't see my screen. So Johnny, can you pass it?
Sure, we'll pass it to see if Gilbert and Danny, they want to do a duo.
So my intention for the week is just stay in the conversation, you know, with the people that I hang out with and, you know, interact with on a daily. Just stay in that responsible conversation, and to continue to be of service, you know, with the little things. If people need a ride somewhere. People need, toiletries, whatever, what have you. Just be of service. Give, give, give.
So we'll pass it to Tenile.
Okay, so my intention for this week, I think, is to get my house in order because my house is falling apart right now. My dryer just broke and I have ants and my yard is a mess. So I think for this week, I'll get my weeds done and I'll fix my dryer and I'll spray my house down, and that is what I will do this week. I will pass it to, who has not gone? Coach Catherine.
My intention remains the same. Focus on the positive, what I am able to complete, redefine success in very small, manageable pieces, and that builds on more success. So I will stay positive and celebrate the small things. I will pass it to Robert.
My intention for the week is to communicate more with some of my friends who I've had the privilege of networking with on certain projects and getting back into it. To continue to be cordial and respectful along with my housemates in the situation that we find ourselves. That's my intention also for the week, and to just start to schedule some things and somewhere in between fit in a haircut. With that, I'll pass it to Coach Taylor.
So this week, I'm going to make a very strong intention not to be bothered when people don't think that I'm doing something right. I'm going to be more love. I am going to broadcast love even more strongly so that those who think I should be doing one thing or another, or I say the wrong thing or say the other, I won't be bothered with that. I'm going to be just bigger love. And I'm going to pass it to Coach Ronnie.
Hello. My intention for this week is to spend a few days with my dad. He's coming into town, and tomorrow's not always guaranteed, and he's 76 years old. And to get my dog to the vet, and to try to focus more time on doing more reading in my GOGI materials, because I've noticed since I came home, I've focused most of my time on working. I work a full-time job and I do side work. So, and participating in this meeting today has made me realize how much I have kind of slacked on my reading and studying and stuff like that. So that's my intention for this week.
Really quick, I think you raised a really good point, Coach Ronnie, is that when we are in there, all we want to do is get out and work, but we have to make time for meetings and, working where I work. People leave the facility and then they relapse and like, what happened? It's kind of like a computer. Like if you don't stay plugged in, you don't forward. And we have to stay plugged into these meetings. So we're glad you're here. So want to go with Coach Ivanica.
Hi, everyone. My intention this week is I want to find more creative ways to be active and advocate for my community. I think it's really important right now to speak up if I have a voice and try to help in any way I can. And also, I started teaching my 6-year-old nephew the GOGI tools. So that's been very fun. It's so cute to see his face light up when he learns a new tool. And I see him practice it when his dad gets mad at him. So it's really lovely to see kids when they learn the GOGI tools. So that's my intention for the week.
Perfect. So we'll do one more thought-provoking question. And the question is, are there present or prior decisions you would have made differently if you were skilled in the tool forgive? So I'll read it one more time. Ask for 1 or 2 volunteers. So are there present or prior decisions you would have made differently if you were skilled in the tool forgive? Just raise your hand. James?
Yeah, I think in the past, I wouldn't have became a gang member, if I would have been utilizing that tool or had knowledge of the tool then. So that's just what I want to say as far as I think the beginning of my road lead me to where we spent 20, 30 years at. I think I would have had different decision making then if I would have had this tool, because actually I was on the right track, playing 2 sports, and I don't have to tell you how I play, right? So so I think it would have been better for me, in having like a different outcome, but I don't regret nothing, because I did accomplish what I wanted to, because even going into prison for a murder I didn't commit, right, and spending all that time in there, I still made a vow to myself in there that whenever I did come home, that I want to be a better person coming home than I was going in. So, but to answer your question, yeah, I wouldn't have became the gang member in the first place, Johnny.
Yeah, and I think we all can agree that you are a better person. I've known you way back then, and yes, definitely you're a better person.
All right, thank you, bro.
So, anybody else? Coach Carlson, did you have your hand up?
I can definitely share on this one. I think every situation and individual that I was connected to between the age of 17 and 22 would have been different. I think that I lacked good decision making in terms of the way that I spent my time and the people I spent it with. And as a result, I spent a lot of years regaining self-confidence and self-esteem and all of those things that come along with being around people who make you feel good, and also learning the GOGI tools and understanding that you get to choose who you hang around with and who your friends are and the decisions you make. So yeah, I think a lot would have changed. I'm definitely at a good place as a result of the GOGI tools, but had I known them between the ages of 17 and 22, I may have not had as much hurt and pain during that time in my life. So forgive is, in applying it to that part of my life, a huge, to reflect back, I would have done a lot of things differently.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so I think also for myself, understanding that, I went to prison at the age of 17, and I used to say, well, it's because I was a gang member and I was a criminal. A lot of it had to do with my childhood upbringing, the lack of confidence, like Coach Carlson said, me being more concerned with what the guys that were with me thought about me than the man that I took his life. And that's embarrassing to say today, but at that time in my life, that was true. And until I got away from that harm, I didn't understand it. And for the GOGI students watching, understand what led you to make the choices that you made. What harm were you involved with that created the choices that you made, that influenced the choices that you made? So I just want to really encourage you to think back and go back and do some of that work. I think it's really, really important. So at this time, we're going to end with the Pledge of Service. We have an amazing person next to me who I didn't think shared her intention for the week because she was getting our dog. Who was barking like crazy. So if she wants to share her intention for the week and then read the GOGI Pledge of Service.
Hi guys. My intention for the week is to try and stay positive. I've been in a very negative space lately. So yeah, just continue to make myself get myself out there, make myself positive, spend more time with my kids and my furry ones too. And, just try and stay upbeat. That's my intention. So, GOGI Pledge. May our commitment to the study of GOGI grant us the joy of giving and receiving so that our inner freedom, may be of maximum service to those we love and infinite others.
Thank you so much. So thank you everybody for joining us. Great to see you guys again. As a reminder, we won't be meeting next week. We'll take 1 week off to regroup. Thank you for everybody's participation and have a great week. Be safe and good to see you guys.
Happy birthday, Coach Johnny.
That's not till a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
Johnny, when your birthday?
It passed last month.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually June 27th.
Yeah, 27th?
Yeah, the 27th of June.
We got to do something. Mine's the 24th.
Happy birthday, James.
We'll have to do something for sure.
We'll have to figure out how to sing happy birthday where we all sound good. So
I don't know. I don't know.
2 weeks from now, you have 2 weeks to practice.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So
I appreciate you guys.
You
You
too.
too. This concludes our meeting. Thank you, Coach Johnny Howe, special guest Coach Taylor, and all of our Peer Circle participants. And thank you all out there for joining us. We hope you will return for these PowerUp community meetings. Ask others to join you in the study of GOGI and continue to find ways to apply what you have learned. This is just the beginning of an ongoing series that we hope will continue in many ways, in many places. We look forward to spending time with you in the future. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everyone.